Tone's a fun-loving guy. I mean, his personality is just big. He just kind of takes over a room.
Tony P is a dedicated restaurateur. He is the consummate hospitality guy.
I worked at Tony P's for 8 years, so it's been really cool because I got to actually see him in action. I get to see how much he cares about his employees, much he cared about his customers.
He's just a great family guy, well liked by everybody. He's very fair.
Colorful, fun.
A badass. Someone who always, wait, can I curse in this video? Yeah?
Loud, maybe a little wild and crazy, with the big, giant heart.
He loves community, he loves people, he loves his family.
He loves Santa, the Easter Bunny, Halloween, 4th of July.
He's the kind of guy that everyone wants to give a big hug to.
Danny and I have been working together since we were 19 years old.
We met back in 1975 in a little town in Michigan called Troy. And we both applied for the same cook's job. Mind you, we were 17, 18 at the time. And he got the job because he had a little more experience as a cook. Another cook's job opened up a week later and I got that position. But I was mad at him that he got the job, so I didn't talk to him. We didn't talk for 2 weeks. We cooked alongside each other. We didn't talk to each other because I was so pissed. So then one Friday he said, he goes, "Hey, New York, you want to go out and have a beer?" I go, "Yeah." And then 40 some odd years later, here we are.
One day, there was a Michigan State chili cook-off, and I got together with some buddies, and we entered it, had some beers, and I ended up winning.
We won a 6-state chili cook-off out of Michigan. The finals were in California. Came home, he goes, "Dude, we got to go to California."
We were pretty hot shit. Moving out of Detroit, we had a condo in Redondo. We had somebody sleeping on our couch every week for a couple of years.
So that beer kind of paid off.
Let's say that as the years gone by, the profanity has gotten less.
Well, I fucking hope so. Fuck! By the way, there's a disclaimer on the swear. And I walked out of the booth and I'm like, fuck!
Back then, our history was Tony was the executive chef at the Hard Rock Cafe. I was the executive pastry chef at a restaurant called Trump's, a 5-star hotel.
We both did it, I think, for about 2 years.
So we decided that, it was time for us to do it ourselves. We're making everyone else money.
And we met a guy out here, George Turek, who was our angel. He was from Detroit. We met him through another guy. And he ended up co-signing our loan to open Teasers in Santa Monica in 1985. And we did it on a paper napkin.
Back then, it was us and the homeless on the 3rd Street Promenade. We're in debt. We're sleeping on desks, at night. Getting up early, cooking, doing everything. We're doing it all ourselves.
At some points, we'd have 4 or 5 checks stacked up that we couldn't cash.
The margins are lean, and you're going to have hiccups. But you just got to fight through them and fight for what you believe in. And, if you believe in it strong enough and talk the other guy into it, then it'll work.
There was a restaurant on Washington called the Black Whale, and they were having a going out of business sale, and I was over there. I met a realtor who had just signed Charlie Brown's. So I got a hold of Danny. I said, this is coming up. So we figured out what we could do to pull this off, and we locked up the property pretty quick. And then everybody started finding out about it, and all the big restaurant chains and everything wanted it. George, again, kind of jumped in for a little while and helped us out. Love you, George.
And we're running both of them at the same time.
When they originally first opened, it was Teasers too, and they changed the name because a lot of people called thinking it was a gentleman's club.
Laura, my wife, would go to the school and say, Teasers has these kid programs and all this, and isn't it a strip club?
So yeah, they had to change the name.
And overnight, we had to come up with a new concept. I went home and I said, "Tone, I'll have the name on Monday." Come back on Monday, and I said, "Tony P's Dockside Grill." And he goes, "I like it." I go, "I know you do."
Now it's a Tony P. It's like, how did that roll so easy? But that was Danny's phrase. That wasn't.
And that's kind of what we wanted. We wanted his personality and everything to be at the forefront.
Tony is the utmost host. He loves people, and I think it shows. An hour doesn't go by that he doesn't stop and walk the restaurant and say hi to his customers and spend a few minutes with them. So everybody that comes to Tony P's feels special.
Everyone's like his best friend. That the customer comes in and he's going to do anything to make that customer happy.
It's never been about Tony in anything he's ever done. And I think that's why he's so well liked.
It's funny because people always ask me, I'll say, "Oh, I'm gonna go over to Tony P's." And they're like, "Oh, Tony P, is that a real person?" I go, "Yes, he really does exist. He's not a figment of your imagination. It's not just a plaque on a wall or a sign. It's a person behind that restaurant. And Tony is utmost host.
Tony's created this brand of hospitality and giving and caring, and that's what he's all about.
What am I saying? I'm Mamma Mia! I love it. Okay, so we're gonna go around the restaurant, we're gonna make pizzas, we're gonna put hats on. Are you guys excited?
Tony's a celebrity to these kids. One of the moms just told me that her son could not sleep and jumped out of bed like at 4 in the morning yelling, "It's field trip day!" It started 16 years ago. His children went to St. Anastasia Catholic School, and he offered the restaurant as a field trip, get behind the scenes, see how a restaurant works, make your pizza, sit on this beautiful patio, enjoy your pizzas. And it's a huge kindergarten tradition.
He's a very giving individual in general. He's great to his family, his friends, and the restaurant. In one way, the restaurant is like 90 more kids.
He's had the same employees since before I was even born. Like, they just kind of don't leave to a certain extent, which I think is a true testament of him and my Uncle Danny.
He gets involved in so many organizations, whether it's the Chamber of Commerce, whether it's the Restaurant Association.
I mean, all the charities that belong to the chamber, the local schools in the area, he's always willing to support them.
I don't know how he does it, because he's always doing something.
His love for the industry just carries over with the California Restaurant Association.
He's been with the CRA probably 15 years. But what's wonderful about that is that we kind of have our finger on the pulse of what's going on.
Tony's so real and so warm and so genuine that legislators have to feel the compassion of Tony's message to influence those legislators and stopping them from making laws that are going to impact and make it very hard for our industry.
Tony, dancing bear.
Yeah, the dancing bear.
No one knows this. Tony is a wonderful dancer.
Phenomenal dancer.
And if you get a couple cocktails in and turn the music up, he'll go.
I'm a dancer on my mother's side.
There's dancing at this event, you will see Tony P dancing.
He kind of like floats around the dance floor.
Worked the back line of a restaurant my whole life. And you gotta have fun.
If you get his family together, his mom and his sister, they're all out there dancing, and they have this little step that they do.
Literally, it just is a little jitterbug thing along the floor. I do like a little penguin dance.
He's a big guy, and he's a hell of a dancer. No one knows that about him, but you do now.
Has anyone mentioned the shorts thing yet?
Oh, gosh, yeah.
Everyone knows he wears shorts everywhere. I think he was born in them.
Whatever meeting we go to, Tony rocks up in shorts and a shirt.
He's a very stylish gentleman, my father.
The secret to Tony P's success, aside from the fact that he doesn't have to pay for a full pair of pants,
A badass.
He only has 2 pairs of pants, and one is for funerals and one is for weddings.
Tonight, I hope he's wearing long pants.
When I think of my dad, I think of the American dream. If that makes sense, I think of someone that came from very humble beginnings.
I've never seen a man go above and beyond to such great measures. He puts himself on the back burner every second of the day just to make other people happy, but you'll never hear him try and get credit for that.
what Tony does is so great is that he's the regular guy.
Tony loves people. Tony's passionate about making people happy.
He is who he says he is. I mean, you meet him and he's genuine to the bone.
There's nobody like him. There's really nobody like him.
He just truly is the most wonderful man in the whole entire world, and it's such an honor that he's receiving this award.
I'm sorry I can't be there with you tonight to celebrate, but I love you, and I just hope you have an amazing time.
Congratulations, Tony.
Cheers, Tones.
He's a brother to me. I can't imagine him not being around. I wouldn't have done it with anyone else. I wouldn't have done it with anyone else. If it wasn't for that stupid chili, we'd still be in Michigan. In Michigan, freezing our buns off.
I don't believe in luck. I believe in opportunity. And I think that when you see something that you think is in your grasp, you got to go for it. You got to go 100%. And we've always done that. And I think that that's why we've lasted.